I asked that because this is a fascinating card that I got before you even asked me the question. And I've got three more cards in the same suit. Let me ask you, first of all, was this like a relationship that was filled with fighting?
Not really. In the end, it turned to fighting.
Okay, because so it was
we were
argument.
together for almost 11 years, and it just like, in the end, we really began to fight a lot.
Well, here's why I ask you that. I have 4 cards here, and they're all swords. Now, swords are a weapon. And when swords come up, that can indicate several things. But in this case, I go with the idea that it was a kind of it got nasty, and it got to be a struggle. Let me tell you something. When I started reading tarot cards in my early youth, I was in my 30s at the time, but I was reading for a married couple who hated each other. I mean, they just hated each other. And every kind of reading, I would shuffle the cards. I would do whatever I could. It would always come out with a majority of swords because they hated each other. Now, swords they don't always mean that. But right now, when you ask me about, even before you asked me the question, I got the 10 of swords. And then I got the 4 of swords and the 6 of swords and the 2 of swords. Now, I'll tell you what that is. Overall, it's telling me that this was a kind of a tempestuous relationship, to put it kindly. The 10 of swords, the reason my ears perked up when you asked about your ex was the 10 of swords refers to something being over. So This is over, Now, the 4 of swords is where it's about somebody taking a break. A lot of people look at that card and think it means that you're dead, but so the same with the 10 of swords, but neither one of them means that. The 4 of swords is about taking a break, taking time out. And that's what you did, right? You separated, you took a break from each other. The 6 of swords, now let me tell you, when I get to the end of this reading, you're just going to be a little disappointed, but we're going to work with that. The 6 of swords is a card about a person who gets from where she is now to where she wants to be. So that's you. There's something you want out of this, and you're going to work to get it, right?
Right.
Now, here's the thing that you're not going to like at the moment, but we'll work with it. It's the 2 of swords, and that's a person who's stuck and can't go this way or that way. It's a card about a stalemate. It's a card about a relationship that's stuck, that nothing is going to happen. So my card reading on this is that you're still going to need more of a timeout.
Okay.
Now, oddly enough, I got another card here, which is swords, the Ace of Swords. So that's 5 sword cards. Now, the Ace of Swords is a little bit of a different thing here. That's telling me the Ace of Swords means seeing things in a new way of thinking, because swords are also about mental activity.
Right.
And in this sense, it's telling me that there's a possibility that you and your ex's attitudes may change. I'm not counting it out. And I can't count it out because of that 6 of Swords cards, which shows me that you're the kind of person who can try to get what she wants. So keep in mind, this is just fascinating that all 5 cards are swords.
It's funny because we fussed and we fought for a long time after the breakup. Now we're able to actually talk. We're like, we don't argue no more. We get along a whole lot better. Like, our attitudes towards each other has actually changed.
Well, there you go. That's the Ace of Swords. There's a new way of seeing things. Now, while you were talking, as a good tarot reader does, I pulled another card, and I got another ace. Now, aces are beginnings. Remember, I said the Ace of Swords, you're beginning to see things in a new way, and so is your ex.
Right.
The next is the Ace of Cups, and that is the beginning of emotional happiness. So I think you have a good shot at it. I told you that 2 of Swords is going to be a little disappointing because it means that you're stuck and that the situation isn't going to change. But that only means it isn't going to change now. Okay? These cards now show me that there's a very strong chance of it changing in the future. Now, you mix that with the 4 of Swords that I got earlier, and it's telling me that you just may need a little time out. Now, again, I want to go back to the 6 of Swords because you are a person of action. And maybe you just want to hold off a little while because that's difficult for you. See, this is the problem. The Four of Swords is a person taking time out. The Six of Swords is a person making things happen. So you've got this dual attitude going in your mind, right? You don't know should you do this or should you not do it. Is that correct?
Right.
Yeah, see, aren't these cards wonderful? Isn't it wonderful how they work? Well, my answer to you is give it time, but I'm going to take one more card and see if that one card may add something to this. How's that?
Okay, thank you.
Let's see. Oh, man. You know something? This was the card that was on my mind. I could not give you a better card. It's the Chariot. You know what the Chariot is? If it's a chariot, shows a lot of decks show a guy on a little chariot with two horses, and one horse wants to go this way and the other horse wants to go that way, and you, as the driver of the chariot, are holding it together and you're making it happen. So that's the card that I put underneath the Four of Swords and the Six of Swords. That doesn't really help much. It explains the situation exactly the way I told you, is that you have conflicting forces that you got to deal with. But that's telling me that you can deal with it. Let's look at a card for the ultimate outcome. The ultimate outcome, I had this earlier for someone, is the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups is perfected happiness. So you're moving from the Ten of Swords, which is about something bad is over, to the Ten of Cups, which is about something wonderful and happy. So I think that you're going to, I'm going to give you exactly what I read in these cards. Things are changing for you and your ex. They're changing for the better, but you still need time. Okay? So my advice is not to don't do anything, because that's ridiculous. But my advice is to go a little slower. And remember that Four of Swords, because that could be your ex, which is the need for more time. But I think you're both growing and you're both getting there and you're both going to get what you want. This is a marvelous reading. I'm going to read those cards again just one by one. The Ten of Swords, the Four of Swords, the Six of Swords, and the Two of Swords, the Ace of Swords. And then after that, we get the Ace of Cups and the Ten of Cups, which are happy cards. And underneath it all is the Chariot, which says you are working to keep this together. So see, don't let that work overburden you. And see if you can get your ex to do a little work too, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks for calling. It's been great reading for you. And these cards really responded to you. And you are definitely evolving. And these things, I can't imagine a reading more on point. I think you're coming into getting exactly what you two want if you can do it. You know, you have a good shot at it. And that's a long way from that first card of somebody, the Ten of Swords, which shows a person lying face down in the mud with swords in her back. You know, that's a long to go from there to the Ten of Cups. That's beautiful. So keep doing what you're doing, but just pull back a little bit, because I think that it requires a little more daintiness, if that's the word. Just let it flow naturally. According to the flow of these cards, you're getting there. You're getting what you want.
Okay, thank you so much.
My pleasure, Danielle. It's been great talking to you. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
And we'll shuffle them up again. What a dynamic reading that was. You know, we live for that, we readers. We really do. And it's funny, you see, even before the subject of how's the ex doing came up, I had those sword cards, you know, that told me that this was going to be about a relationship that ended, or something that ended. I just understood it to be a relationship by looking at the other cards. That's how it goes, you know, and that's marvelous when the cards can. This is what I mean by information. These cards are shedding light. They're giving advice. Now, notice that the cards, one of the kind of readings that we shouldn't do is, should I sell my home right now? You know, should I put that money into the stock market? Yes or no? You know, we don't do that. When people ask me a yes or no question, my answer is always flip a coin, heads yes, tails no. Because as soon as that coin is up in the air, you're going to know which way you want it to land. So you really do know what you want most of the time. But instead of saying, should I put money in the stock market, the question would be, if I put money in the stock market, what will that look like? That we can work with. A tarot reader can sink his teeth into that, even even real teeth. You know, you could tear that, and you could tear into that. You could really do it. And like I said, when you get a longer tarot reading with me at very affordable rates, why, we just spend all the time we need, and we get it done just talking, you and me, like this, without a few million people listening. We're all shuffled up now, and Jessica in Venice, Louisiana is next. Hi, you're on with Reverend Elliot, Jessica.
Yes.
Hi, how are you tonight?
Good.
Well, let's see if we can make that any better. What would you like me to look at for you?
My friend passed away.
I'm very sorry to hear that. Was that suddenly?
Yes.
Oh, that's terrible. It's just terrible. Recently, I assume, right?
Yeah.
So are you looking for a message?
Yes.
Okay, let me see what I can do. I don't usually, well, this is almost a joke now, because I always say this. I don't usually do this, but I do it if certain cards show up, and then I know I'm on the right track. So let's see if they show up for you. And if not, and I'm just going to tell you what I see anyway, and go on the supposition that that this is what that is. So I'm going to shuffle them up again.
Okay.
Now, cut the cards, and okay, this is interesting stuff. I do believe that this is giving an answer to your question. Was this person very unhappy?
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay, I'll tell you why I asked that. Because the first card I have is the Three of Swords, and that is a card of great sorrow. That's sadness, and that sometimes indicates divorce, or if it was for a nation, it would indicate civil war. I mean, it's a sad card. It means family troubles, all kinds of bad things like that. But immediately after that is the Ten of Coins. The Ten of Coins, and this is fascinating in the context of a person who has passed over. The Ten of Coins is a card of parents and grandparents and grandchildren and great-grandchildren and great-grandparents. It's about ancestors. It's about your whole family line, and it's being with them. So I'm reading this as a person who is now with all the ancestors. Now, of course, that's the old Chinese expression to say when somebody passes away that he is now with his ancestors. But that's what I'm seeing here. Now, the Wheel of Fortune is here, and that tells me that the situation the person had, the very sad situation the person had, has changed. The next card is the Six of Rods. That's a card of success. And the next card is the Ten of Cups, which I've had twice so far tonight, is a card of happiness. So now get this. We start with the Three of Swords, which is great sadness, and we end with the Ten of Cups, which is great happiness. So I'm seeing that this person, it's scant comfort, of course, but people always would say, well, he's in a better place now. But that's what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing that your friend is, in fact, in a better place. The Three of Cups is here now. That's a card about being with friends. So I don't think your friend was particularly happy with life at the moment. How did your friend pass?
Oh, we don't know.
Oh, okay. Because I'm just seeing that there was such an overwhelming sadness at the time, but that's turned into happiness.
Okay.
So that's the message I'll give you. That's the message I've got here. Now, in fact, here's one of the cards that I look for in all of this to see if I'm really dealing with somebody in the other side is the Judgment card, which refers to the Last Judgment, where the people come up out of the grave and all of that, and the horn is blowing and the sun is rising. And I have the Judgment card here. So I'm taking this as an authentic message from the other side, which is I was sad, I'm happy now. I was with, I was hurting. I'm with people who are my people now. My ancestors have welcomed me, and the sad situation has changed. That's the Wheel of Fortune, and all the rest is happiness and companionship and joy. So it's just amazing to start with one of the saddest cards in the deck, the Three of Swords. I would say only the Nine of Swords is the sadder. and end up with the 10 of Cups, which is one of the happiest cards in the deck. So that's the message. Okay?
Okay. Okay, thank you.
My pleasure. And you know what I'm going to do after the show? I'm going to light a candle. I'm going to light a white candle anointed with holy oil for your friend and for you. How's that?
That works. Thank you.
Bye-bye now.
All right.
And thanks for calling. Now, we'll shuffle them up. Those are, to tell the truth, my favorite kind of readings are the readings that people ask me, just look at the cards and see what they say, because that's a real challenge. And the ones that really make me a little nervous are the ones to look across the veil into the afterlife, because, I got a collection of Ouija boards, and I've had some interesting experiences with those. And it is, oh, man, I mean, it's just, you never know what you're going to find. You never know what you're going to do. I was once asked years ago by somebody, could you tell me how this person is doing, the person who passed away? And the card I got was the devil, And oh, man, she said, I knew it. I knew he was going to go there. I knew he was going to end up there. That was the end of the reading. That was a short reading. That was a one-card reading, friends. That's all it was. So let's just shuffle up the cards again, and I will tell you a little bit more. Oh, by the way, speaking of Ouija boards, if you have any questions about Ouija boards, you go to my site, magic-works.com. I think this has got to be the biggest page in my whole website, is the one on Ouija boards. It's crammed with information and pictures and fun stuff. You can download sheet music from the 1920s that has a song by, I don't remember if it's Albert von Tilzer or Harry von Tilzer. They were two big songwriters in the early 20th century. One of them wrote Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Hey, you don't get a bigger hit than that. And no, there was no pun intended. That was, that brings back such memories of the time I went to Yankee Stadium. You can believe that? Been a New Yorker all my life, natural-born New Yorker, been to Yankee Stadium once, just once. Mickey Mantle was playing, so I guess I got my money's worth. So go to magic-works.com, magick-works.com, and you will see a whole bunch of stuff there. I'm now updating and putting in some new instructions on my page about out-of-body experiences. Have you ever done that? You ever traveled outside your body? I have done some remarkable experiments with not remote viewing per se, although I have a page about that too under the ESP page, but actually leaving your body and going somewhere and time traveling. Oh, boy, you can do some stuff with that. I have had remarkable experiences in my own life just going back in time to witness certain incidents in my life from my childhood. And I've seen it. I've been there. It's like Total Recall, but you're seeing it from another point of view. I can teach you how to do that stuff too. I have a meditation there, a visualization meditation that you can download and use. I have all kinds of free stuff on my website, magic-works.com. Then I have mojoacademy.org for Mojo Brothers books. Now, that isn't free. The stuff there, I mean, but you take a look at it, because there's books there that will change your life. Books and now audio and some video too. But check those out, because along with tarot reading, those are the kind of things I really like doing, is getting into the magical side of things and showing people how to really enhance their lives through things like meditation. Now, meditation is where it's at, especially in troubled times. Meditation is hard to do. Meditation, if you try to shut your mind down, your mind is going to say, hey, wait a minute, who's the boss around here? So it's going to be very difficult. But I have some guided meditations that you should know about. You can check out the meditation page at magic-works.com. And also, there's a recording from the 1950s that's probably one of the first guided relaxation meditations ever done. And we have reissued that. You check that out. I will put a link up to that on my Facebook page also, which is my Facebook tarot page. You can get to that also just through askoneradio.com or through magic-works.com. You and I, we're going to do a lot of things together one of these days to improve your life and my life too, because I don't do these things for you. I do them with you. So when you grow, we all grow, and I grow. And that's one of the things about a tarot reading with me is that we both learn. I mean, that's the way it is. I'm not like some power from on high. I'm just a regular guy who took the time to learn how to read and interpret tarot cards. You can do that too. We'll talk about that later. Right now, Tracy in Dallas is on. Hi, Tracy. You're on with Reverend Elliot.
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Amidst all of the chaos that's going on right now. Doing fine.
Yeah. Tell me about it. You know, I mean, I'm in New York, so I mean, people driving around. People driving around the country with New York license plates are getting avoided on the roads. You know. So.
Wow. Well, my heart goes out to all of the citizens in New York at this time, and all across the world, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, that's true. Well, let me tell you something. It's really not as dire as the media is making it out to be. I do the numbers every day. I look at the health department. I look at the Centers for Disease Control. And right now, this is always a surprise to people. Right now in New York City, the number of people who have picked up this virus, it's 2/5 of 1% of the population. So we got it pretty much under control. You know, it's not, ain't no nightlife to speak of. And I think there's a few bartenders who think I must have died. But, you know, 2/5 of 1% of the population, that's pretty good. So, you know,
right.
we got to at least give each other credit for keeping this thing in check. You know, the human beings have centuries of experience with outbreaks like this. So we all know what to do, which is to apply some common sense stuff, you know, which is, you know, stay 6 feet away and wash your hands and stay in if necessary. And of course, me being an old geezer, I'm probably got to go a little lighter too, you know. So there you go.
Right, I understand. Well, I agree with you, and you know, over time we'll get through this and then carry on with life. And new world that we're approaching is. It's going to be an exciting new world.
Yeah, we're going to get through this. And like I always tell people, just remember, the fear is worse than the disease, because fear, and I have something, if you look at my page on my website, this goes for everyone listening, magic-works.com, magic with a CK, check out the page called Healing Power. Now, this is not like mystical stuff that's going to heal you, because that doesn't exist. The stuff I have there is about the body's innate ability to heal itself, which we all have. And one of the things that any doctor will tell you that, and I'll give you a grotesque example of it, any doctor will tell you that if you're in a state of fear, your immune system shuts off, because your body doesn't have the energy to use the immune system if it has to run, like fight or flight. So whatever you can do to not be afraid, do it. We're watching reruns of the old Batman show here, you know, because that's just goofy and funny. There was a case, I'll tell you about this, about what fear does and why, and this, I'm going to make this as delicate as possible, but there was a murder case years ago, I think in the 1930s, where a person was seen having dinner in a restaurant and then was found murdered. And in the autopsy, they saw that the food was barely digested. So they figured he was killed shortly after having dinner, but they kept the guy tied up in the basement so his digestion stopped out of fear. And then that way they could trick people about the time of the killing. So listen, before we go on and on, what do you want to see in the tarot cards?
Well, I'm very much interested in I guess my future. I have a lot of faith in the overcoming of this situation, and I'm looking forward to a fresh new start, and just would like to kind of
wait a minute. Bingo, right there. Right, the minute you said fresh new start, what did I do? I pulled out the Ace of Cups. The aces are beginnings. Okay. You said the magic word there. And the Ace of Cups is about the beginnings of happiness. It's about the beginning of it's got a sunrise, you know, in a lot of the decks. So it's about a whole new day. Right. You just really hit that. Now, the next card is the Empress. That's a person who can make things grow and make things happen. You're a very creative person, am I right?
That's correct.
Well, you're going to use that creativity and you're going to make things happen.
Mm-hmm. Great. I do a lot of writing and sketching and drawing, and singing, and just a lot of different creative. That's where I get my mojo at, I guess.
Well, you know, the arts are where it's at, because that's the expression, and that is so good. And let me tell you something else, and this goes for everyone listening. If you really want to put yourself in a good, upbeat mood, this is phenomenal stuff. I meant to talk about this last week, and I put something on my website about this. The people who make a list of things that they're grateful for in life will stay happier than the average person for the next 2 months.
Oh, wow.
So that's something that everybody can do too. Is let's all make a list of something we're grateful for. But what I'm seeing here is that, like here, this is there's the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords is about a new way of seeing things, a new way of thinking, a new way of seeing the world. So yeah, you're headed for a really, really good time. The Sun is the next card. Healing, growth, health, all the good things from the Sun. So I only stopped you because what you said was exactly the card that I got about a new start and happiness and growth. So you're headed for the time of your life, literally.
Great. I feel that as well. I mean, I'm excited, you know. And
well, the cards are confirming what you feel. That's for sure.
Great.
Well, I'm going to see if I can get one more reading in before I go. I've only got a few minutes left. But, keep in touch. I'm here every Wednesday at 11 Eastern, 10 Central, 9 Mountain, and 8 Pacific. And we will get through this. And we're all going to keep as positive as we can. Okay?
Well, I was excited, and I'm grateful for you guys to have me on. And you are an amazing host. And I'm going to continue to listen to the show. And I encourage everyone out there to keep listening.
Thank you very much. That's a beautiful thing to say. I really appreciate it. You made my night. Bye-bye.
Great. All right.
Now, I got the cards all shuffled up. Let's see if we can get in one more call. And Corinna in Washington. Hi, you're on with Reverend Elliot.
Hi.
Hi. What can I look at for you tonight? Don't mean to rush you, but we're up against the clock here. It's amazing how fast this goes. What would you like to look at?
My romance. The romance.
Romance. Okay. Let's see what we've got here. Well, you're facing a lot of competition, is what I'm seeing here in terms of romance. But things are going to happen. I've got that's the 5 of Rods. It's about stiff competition. I've got exactly the kind of cards you're going to want too. The 8 of Rods is about something that's on the way now. It's just like that feeling that I had with the last call, that something is coming good. There's something coming at you, and the next card tells what it is. And the next card is the 2 of Cups. Okay, the 2 of Cups is the card for the beginning of a new relationship and a new romance, or if you're in a relationship, it means it's going to reach a new level. So that's coming right at you now. Now, here's the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is the beginning of a new relationship that's just taking shape. Remember, cups are about romance and emotion and all of that good stuff. And the Knight is the beginning. Now, the Knight can be a little uncertain because the Knight is on horseback, so it jumps around, like on a chessboard even. But it means that something new and exciting is coming. Oh, bingo, the Ace of Cups. How many times do I get the Ace of Cups tonight? That means we're all on the verge of something good coming. So, yes, there is. The 8 of Swords is the first card I got, which is a person who feels that there's nothing happening, that you're stuck, you're not going anywhere. The 5 of Rods is the card that led me to say that there's some stiff competition out there, but the 8 of Rods says something is coming, and the next 3 cards tell me exactly what it is. There is no doubt in my mind. 2 of Cups, Knight of Cups, Ace of Cups, that's a relationship. That's a romance. Okay?
Okay.
And I think it's going to be really good for you.
What I needed to know.
I've got 2 more cards here. Get this. The Lovers. Now, there you go. You can't get better than that. And the Temperance card, which is a card of balance, which tells me it's going to be a really good relationship. It's going to be well balanced for you. So let me know how it works out. You got something really good coming just around the corner.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And that's it, folks. Here, we just shuffle the deck up. And that's it. We've got through another edition of Reverend Elliot's Magical Window, the show that asks the question, when will he stop talking and read those cards? I just love communicating, and I get such a burst of energy. Sometimes I listen back to these shows and I hear, "Hi, this is Reverend Elliot," at the beginning of the show, and by the end, I'm talking like 9,000 miles an hour. I could keep going forever. In fact, if you called me after the show somehow, if you emailed me, we'd probably get into a conversation. But don't do that, because I'm going to try to get some sleep tonight. I usually don't get to sleep till about 7 in the morning after I do the show, because I'm so keyed up. But there's so much positive energy out there, folks, and that's what I want you to stick with. I want you to stick with the positive energy. Remember, I told you, fear and stress can make us sick. I have a link to an article about that at the Healing Power page on magic-works.com. I have a 10-minute video by Dr. Bruce Lipton. Look him up. That is a doctor. I mean, we're talking about a healer, a real doctor. And he knows that he doesn't heal anybody. Now, that sounds odd, right? But he knows that we heal ourselves. We all, when you cut yourself and you put a bandage on it and then it's healed. How'd you do that? There's a lot of stuff you did that you don't take credit for, You got blue eyes? How did you do that? You did that. They're your eyes, you see. So there's power there. We all have more power than we know. And in fact, I have a book about that. It's called Bending Spoons with Your Mind and Other Miracles of Mind Power. Folks, if you needed mind power ever in your life, it's during a time of stress and fear. You can't let that get to you, because the fear itself can damage you forever. Fear is deadly. And that's why I always talk about the book Unmasking Fear, which you'll find at mojoacademy.org. I'm not going to go on and on and on and on about that. Just check it out. You will thank me for it if you read it. You can see at Amazon.com, and you go to the link, that there are 2 people there who wrote reviews about how important this book is. These are verified readers who bought the book. So we'll be talking about this in the weeks to come, because don't give in to fear and don't give in to stress. Easier said than done. I can show you how to do it. I can show you how to make that happen. So I've got to go now. We're going to be out of here in a matter of seconds. So until next week, remember, time flies. It's 2 minutes. Have I really got 2 minutes to go? Yeah, okay. Wow. Well, so what can we talk about for 2 minutes? Let's see. I'll tell you what I'll do. I shuffled up the cards. Let's pull out a card to see what the situation in the world is like now. Bingo. Again. Gosh, I love these cards. The Star. Hope and optimism. Hope and optimism. Now, you couldn't get a better reading than that. The next card is the Wheel of Fortune. That means this too is going to change. The situation is going to change. The Tower, struck by lightning. Notice that these are all major cards. That means the situation is going to change, and it's suddenly. And the next one, unbelievable. Also a major card. It's the Sun, the card of healing and growth. Just what I got for the man who called from Texas, Tracy. We got the Sun, which is healing and growth and happiness and health and all the good things. People think bad things come from the sun because we're trained to think that the sun is going to poison us and kill us. But that's only if you overdo it. People who work out in the sun actually have a lower rate of sun-related diseases than other people who try to cram in sun, a day at the beach and then do that. No. So listen, that is the prognosis that I see. The Star, the Wheel of Fortune, the Tower, the Sun. These are outstanding, positive, wonderful cards. Again, go to my website, magic-works.com, magic-works.com. You can contact me through the contact form there if you want a full reading. If you feel you need a reading, you need someone to talk to, give me an email. Send me an email. Shoot me an email. But go to magic-works.com and look at the Healing Powers page and see how dangerous stress is. So now I'll say it again. Till next week, remember, time flies. It's up to you to be a navigator. Bye-bye now.